Want to turn yourself into an avatar? Just keep watching. Hey beauties, welcome back. It is officially October, which is my favorite month of the whole entire year. And if you want to see how to turn yourself into an avatar, then just continue to keep on watching. So jumping right into the video using the Smashbox Photo Finish Original Primer. And we're applying this to the whole entire face, just so we make sure that all the foundation is going to go on super smooth. And that is the L'Oreal Fresh Wear Foundation in about 2 to 3 shades too light for me, which I did on purpose because we want the color of the shadow that we're going to be putting on the face to show its true color. So I didn't want to get my own skin tone color, and putting that all the way down the neck and just super blending that in really fast with that e.l.f. sponge. And again, this is one of my favorite sponges. If you have never tried it, you should. As a matter of fact, all e.l.f. sponges are equally just as good. But applying that all over to the face, and you can see it's way too light for my skin tone. Going in with the CoverGirl concealer. I'm going to brighten up any areas that look dull, even though we're going to be covering our face in total blue. Blending that in the eyes, underneath the eyes. And I chose this concealer because it is a matte concealer, but it's not drying. So, and still going to set the face, even though we're going to put powder on the face. I don't want it to look like dried up and weird, so we are going to set the face so that the color powder that we put on just glides on smoothly over the powder that we're using now. And that is my Pure Cosmetics powder foundation brush and some Flower Beauty pressed powder, which I do love. And most of the stuff that I'm using today, I did pick up at my local Dollar Tree. So it literally cost me $1. This is an eyeshadow palette. And I'm just using that blue color all over the face. Like literally all over the face. And that brush that I'm using, that came in this set from Walmart. So just any fluffy brush will do. And just putting this on like a powder foundation, actually. And we're going to drag this down my neck, which normally I don't do, but since we're turning ourselves into an avatar, we are going to drag this all the way down our neck. And just applying this all over the face with that fluffy brush. And we're going to drag this down the neck far as I can. Just making sure that my face is well coated with that blue eyeshadow. And I did purposely pick one that had a sheen to it because the picture that I'm going off of has a little sheen. And also this blue eyeliner that I'm using to line my lips with, I got also from Dollar Tree. Just lining my lips with that. And also we're going to draw the lines on our face with this same exact liner. In no specific way, but just putting this in the creases of our eyes. We're also going to blend this out so it's not going to look as harsh as it is when you first draw it on. Drawing a little triangle in the center of my face and just filling that in, and then going down with a line on my nose. And then here comes the avatar lines. The picture that I'm going off of does have a smaller center, but for my shape face, it looked better if I did it a little bit larger, so fixing that. And it just initially we're drawing the lines, but we are going to blend this out. Everything's going to be well blended. It's not going to look like straight up makeup, like we just drew lines on our face with a pencil liner. Just speeding through, doing the same thing on the other side. Contouring my nose with the same blue liner. And really shadowing in on the sides of my nose. And then going in with the contour, do 2 little lines there, and filling out the lips. And I use the same pencil little blue liner. Actually, it's not, it's a retractable liner, but for my whole face. And then here we're just going to take a concealer brush and we're just now blending all of those lines. And we do want to blend, 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 because you don't want to look straight up like you just drew lines on your face. So I am going to dip this concealer brush back in the shadow that we used and then start blending. Right here you can see it looks a lot better blended. And I am dipping it into the shadow that we first applied all over to the face. Tapping off any excess and then just blending. And we're going to do that with every single line that we drew on our face and even the contours of our nose. Just dipping back in every time and then blending. Blend, blend, blend is the secret here. And as you can see, from one side to the other, looks way different and way better. So just quickly going to blend on the other side. Blending all those lines so they're not looking harsh down the bridge of the nose. The little triangle we drew in the middle of our face, well, in the center of the forehead actually, and then blending out that line in the crease of our eye. And as you can see, when you start blending, it looks a lot better. And then again, under the eyes, we're just applying that exact same blue eyeshadow. And then we're going to blend down the side of our nose where we also put that blue liner for some nose contour. Really want to shadow that out. So that's why. And then dip it back in that same blue eyeshadow and then same thing, blending it out on the other side. And then blending the 2 lines that we did for the contour. If you don't dip back in the eyeshadow, it will pull up what you already have put on your face. So just remember, like every time you blend, you have to dip back in that eyeshadow so you're blending it out and the color is staying put. You don't want to drag anything up or off your face. So every time that I am blending one of those lines, I am dipping back in, even though I'm not showing that. And then here, I'm just going back in and defining that a little bit more than what it already is. On the picture that I'm looking at, the lines were just a little bit larger in the forehead. So just fixing that triangle in the middle of between our brows. Because once you blend, sometimes you do lose a little bit of what you put on. So you just want to go back and fix whatever you think you've lost or whatever you see that you lost. And then I'm just filling that in. Same thing with the other side. And like I said, I got all this stuff mostly from Dollar Tree. So super affordable. And my local Dollar Tree had a lot of other stuff. So if you are on a budget or just don't want to spend the money just because it's Halloween makeup, Dollar Tree is the best place to go. Even though I do love my Halloween stores. And I did also get a few things from there because Dollar Tree does not have everything. But for this look, they did come through. So they had everything I needed. I mean, obviously, except for the foundation, I already had that. You can use any foundation that you already own. You don't actually have to go out and buy one. Or if you have that white face base, Also, they have that at Dollar Tree. You could also use that. It's just on my skin was a little bit too thick, and I don't like that thick, goopy feeling. So, going in with my Spectrum palette, and I got this from my local Walmart for under $5. Going in with that lightest blue shade and just dusting that over the eyelids. And like I said, everything I'm using is super affordable today. So, and going in with that dark purpley blue color, and then we're going to deepen up that crease, which is the perfect shade for this look, to really throw that in the crease and deepen that up. And that's just a fluffy brush that I got off of Walmart.com. I think I got like 20 brushes for $10, like $10.99 or $9.99. So just really wanting to deep that crease up. And the picture that I'm going off of is super dark. I didn't feel like I needed to go super dark, so we just kept it like medium toned, and then we're running that same blue color from that Spectrum palette under the lash line, on the bottom lash line, and then we're going to go over the shadow of the sides of the nose and just pulling that down a little bit in the middle of the face, back in with that same dark blue color. And we're going to do the contours of our cheeks with that same fluffy brush. And then going back in with that Spectrum palette with that darker blue shade that I showed earlier, and really defining that triangle between those brows right there. Really want that to show through. We don't want it just to be a faded triangle. You really want to see this. That's part of the avatar look. So just deepening that little triangle. And that's the same concealer brush that we've been using. And then just going to connect that line that we shaded on the sides of our nose to the eyebrows. And then here we're just adding highlighter to the chin, the Cupid's bow. We're going to add it to the cheekbones, the tip of the nose. And you really want like a white highlighter for this, not a gold or pink tone. You really want that white highlighter to show through that blue. So using that same palette that we got from Walmart, that like magenta pink shade in there, we're just putting on the very tip of the nose. Right there, that color on the end. It's actually like a deep mauve magenta pink shade, but we're just putting that on the end of the nose. And I am using that little shadow shader brush thing, the applicator that it came with. I'm not using a brush for this. Really no need. And then applying that same color to the lips, even though it's a powder. And I did use the Laneige lip balm before, so just to keep in mind, powders can dry your lips out. So I did make sure they were very well moisturized beforehand, because I knew I was going to be putting powder on the lips. And then going in with this Maybelline Tattoo liquid lipstick, and just putting that, focusing more in the center. And then we're actually going to blend this in with our finger, just so it doesn't look weird like it does right now. Just tapping that in, making it look more natural, and then going back over with that highlight. More highlight, more highlight, more highlight, and the lightest color. Like I said, you really want to use a white highlight on this blue, because if not, like pink or a gold would change the color. It would look probably weird. So, would not recommend. On the picture that I've looked at, it was a white highlight, so that's just what I went with. Didn't want to change the tone of the blue on the face. Just brushing that on the brow bone. And I did put a lot on the Cupid's bow, and then even some more with my finger on the top of the nose. Also going in with my Wet n Wild highlighter, that is the cream to powder highlighter, and that is also a white toned highlighter, like a silver whitish highlight. So really packing this on the face, because the picture that I'm going off of is super highlighted. So just putting that wherever I put all the other stuff, and then using this white cream makeup. This is the little tube of Halloween makeup. You can get this at Walmart, at any makeup store. I did pick this one up at Dollar Tree, so really inexpensive. And then we're just putting all those little avatar dots all over the face, like mostly on the cheeks, and then we're going to put some down the neck and on the top of the forehead. But keeping these little dots on the like outer part of my face. We're not going to put any on like the Cupid's bow or my chin or anything like that. And I actually switched and went in with this little tiny brush. It's a liner brush actually, but it worked perfectly for making these little dots in these rows like this. Like, it was perfect. That Q-tip kind of was coming apart as I was doing it, and the dots were a little bigger than I needed, but we made it work. So just using this little liner brush and putting little white freckles all over the face, and we're going to bring this down the sides of the neck also. Okay, so that was a little bit time consuming, but well worth it for the look. So going in with a little bit of Thrive Cosmetics mascara. The picture that I'm going off of does have big fluffy false eyelashes, but I do not use false eyelashes for really any kind of look. So my eyelashes, I can usually get to build up to a false eyelash look. So just putting coats of the Thrive Cosmetics mascara on. This is the most thickening and lengthening mascara that I do own. So just going to really build this up and give my own lashes that false lash effect. And then the same thing again, another coat. Really trying to build up these lashes. And it's okay for this look if your lashes get a little clumpy, because it really brings your eyes out through this dark blue color. And then going in, this is a pastel pink liner. It looks almost white. And then we're going to put that in the waterline. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other eye. It's really building that color up. We want that white, well, the light pink to show through. And then same thing over here. And this is from NYX, so this liner here is actually really smooth. There was no tugging on my eye or anything like that. It just rolled right on my waterline, and it's that fast. And then gonna go in with the Lorac Pro palette and use that whitish shade in the palette and really brighten up those inner corners of the eye. In the picture that I'm going off of, they have super highlighted inner corner eyes. So going for that same look that the photo has, and then just dragging that up right there on the lid, not where we put any of the blue, of course, just keeping that there. And then to the brow bone, you see what a big difference that just made. And really want to drag that down and give it a little tail. Same thing with the other eye. Using that same white shade from the Lorac Pro palette. Really want to highlight that brow bone. And again, I'm going to take that white shade from the Lorac Pro palette and then go over all the spots where we highlighted, because in the picture that I'm going off of is a really super white highlight through all this blue. So really trying to achieve the same effect that I'm seeing in the picture. And so far, so good. Also, we're going to take that same blue eyeshadow and just drag that far as we can down the neck. You don't want to see any of our regular skin. So there you have it, guys. This is the finished look, obviously without a costume. I had actually a lot of fun doing this, and as always, thanks for watching.